Hello everyone, welcome to Enbreezen, the daily current affairs program by Team Enlight. Today we will be discussing regarding the four important topics that were in news today. And these are regarding the International Solar Alliance, Sovarikpa, the Martha and Sun Temple, and regarding the Valneva vaccine. So let's move ahead to the first topic for today, that is regarding the International Solar Alliance and its fourth General Assembly that is being held virtually. So the fourth summit will be headed by the Union Minister for Power and MNRE, the Sri R.K. Singh, as well as the President of the ISA Assembly. So what is International Solar Alliance? So it is mainly an alliance of 124 countries that is initiated by India for collaborations in the field of solar technologies and other renewables, and also to boost the share of solar energy technologies across the world. So most of the members belong to the Sunshine member countries, that is the countries that lie between the Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Capricorn. And there is also another word for these countries, that is the countries that lie in the torrid zone. So the torrid zone is, the torrid zone, that is mainly the region that lies between the Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn. The region between is known as the torrid zone. And so ISA is also an action-oriented organization that brings together the countries with a rich solar potential to aggregate the global demand. So aggregation will reduce the overall costs through the bulk purchase agreements, and also facilitates the deployment of the existing solar technologies in order to improve the economies of scale. And it also aims to promote collaborative solar R&D and as well as capacity building. As the ISA was mainly headed or initiated by India as well as France, the headquarters is located at the National Institute of Solar Energy campus, which is in Gurugram in India, Haryana. And the major objectives of ISA is mainly the global deployment of over 1000 gigawatt of solar energy capacity, as well as mobilization of investment along the tune of 1000 billion US dollars or $1 trillion US dollars into solar energy by 2030. So it's important to remember these facts, as UPSC these days have the habit of asking factual questions in UPSC prelims examination. So it's easier to remember as both of these are 1000 each. So it is easier to remember it that way. And it is mainly a treaty-based intergovernmental organization. And another important factor is that countries that do not fall between the two tropics, that is the torrid zone, can also join the alliance, as well as enjoy all the benefits. But there is an exception, that is mainly regarding the voting rights. So it is very important, as UPSC can ask 2 or 3 statement questions by giving these options. So what is the current relevance of this meeting? Because we know that India is facing power crisis due to shortage of our fossil fuels like the coal and other traditional resources. So it is imperative that we develop some kind of alternative, that is mainly in the solar and the other renewable energy sources. Another important relevance for India is because India have a very ambitious INDC target under the Paris Summit, as well as we have an ambitious national solar mission. And it is so in these lights, ISA is very significant to India, and also India gets abundant sunlight. So it is imperative that we develop such technologies. And also, if we look at the Sustainable Development Goals, the affordable and reliable energy is one of the key components under the Goal 7 of the SDGs. So it is also essential for achieving the SDG goals. So you can, if at all a question comes in the UPSC GS, mainly in GS3, regarding the renewable energy, or regarding India's initiatives in renewable energy, or regarding the climate summits, you can definitely add these points of the ISA as a further point in all these mains type of questions. So what are the key initiatives in the present summit? There are mainly three initiatives. The first and foremost and the most important initiatives is operationalization of the OZOVOG initiative, that is One Sun, One World and One Grid initiative, which has been discussed in one of our previous videos, the link for which will be provided to get a full idea of the concept. And next is regarding the 1 trillion or the 1,000 billion investment roadmap for 2030, which is very essential for scaling up the technologies and R&D. Next will be the blended financial risk mitigation facility, which is mainly aimed at alleviating the fears of mainly the private investors to provide some kind of an insurance and protection to their investments in the solar energy projects. So the ongoing assembly will also discuss about the country partnership frameworks, the strategy for private sector engagement, then viability gap funding for the projects that are not financially viable, etc., in order to boost the solar energy technologies. So it assumes significance because it is just week ahead from the UNFCCC conference or the COP26 conference of parties, which is slated to be held in Glasgow, USA. So the discussions in ISA will provide the necessary base for the developing countries in order to voice their demands collectively in ISA, in the upcoming COP26. So in that regard also it assumes significance. So it is very important both for your prelims as well as your mains. If you want additional information, just look on the links that is being provided at the end of this lecture PDF. Next we will be discussing about the three major prelims topics that were in news. First is regarding the Marthan Sun Temple. We know that sun temples are a point of interest for UPSC prelims, as multiple questions were asked in previous years. So recently the Marthan Temple was visited by the Union Minister for Power as well as Commerce and Industry. So it assumes significance. So it is also known as, the Marthan Temple is also known as Pandu Laden. It's a Hindu temple dedicated to Surya. It is called Marthan Sun Temple because Marthan is a Sanskrit synonym for Surya. It is very important because it is recognized as a site of national importance by the Archaeological Survey of India. And it was built in the 8th century CE by the Karkodaga dynasty Lalitaditya Muktapida. And it was also destroyed by the Muslim ruler Sikandar Shah Miri. And now we can mainly see the ruins of the temple and not the whole temple as such. And it is mainly located 5 miles from the Anantnag district of Jammu and Kashmir. The other famous temples are Modhera in Gujarat, Kartarmal in Uttarakhand and Konark in Odisha. Of these, Modhera and Konark were asked in the previous UPSC examinations. And the Marthan Sun Temple is the oldest one, which is older than Modhera and Konark. Next is regarding Zovarikpa. UGC recently recognized Zovarikpa as a new degree course under the Medicine and Surgery, Ayurveda, Unani, Homeopathy and allied sciences. So, Sovarikpa is mainly a traditional Indian Tibetan medicine system, which is also known as Amchi system of medicine. It originated in Tibet and it is popularly practiced in countries like India, Nepal, Bhutan, Mongolia, and Russia. In India, it is mainly practiced in the Himalayan states, mainly that have a connection with the Tibetan culture. That is mainly the Sikkim, Arunachal Pradesh, West Bengal's Darjeeling region, Himachal Pradesh, and the Union Territory of Ladakh. And the majority of practice and theory is related to the Indian system of medicine, Ayurveda. And another important trivial fact regarding Sovarikpa is the National Institute of Sovarikpa, which is located in Leh, Jammu and Kashmir, which was established in recent years, and so it is important to learn about these headquarters. Next is another vaccine candidate for the COVID-19. That is a Valneva vaccine, which is a French developed by the French vaccine company Valneva, and the phase 3 results were announced, which says that it is as effective as the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine, which is essentially the Covishield that is being given in India and developed by Oxford. So regarding VLA 2001, it is mainly an inactivated adjuvanted vaccine. What it means? It means that it delivers the whole SARS-CoV-2 virus in an inactivated form, which is mainly killed using chemicals, heat, or radiation. So we know that it is similar to India's Covaxin developed by Bharat Biotech, which is also an inactivated vaccine. The famous inactivated vaccines are mainly the polio and flu vaccines, which is the common examples for inactivated or killed vaccine. And one more interesting trivia is that the word vaccine was developed from the root word that means cow. It is important because UPSC in one of the recent exams, in its EPFI examination, has asked a question regarding the origin of the word vaccine. So that is another interesting trivia regarding vaccines. The links for further readings, the links will be provided in the last page to know about the additional details regarding these topics as well as the previous lecture. And that's all for today. Thank you for watching.